Hi. There was a great program on the BBC last week. Michael Portillo. Um, I'm not sure. I think it might be called Michael Portillo's State Secrets. But anyway, Michael Portillo is an ex candidate for Prime Minister. He also was a politician for a number of years. And he delves into like the archives, secret files, and he makes a TV show about it. Well, last week was about the overturning of the ban on foreign Scientologists entering the UK. And it's an interesting backstory in that the person who did this was Margaret Thatcher herself. She was approached by two nice Scientologists from her constituency who practically begged her and persuaded her to overturn this unfair ban. Now, the ban was actually put in place by the Department of Health, I believe, or it might be some other crowd. But anyway, it was an official government department. And they still opposed the lifting of this ban. Also, bear in mind that Justice Leahy had said that Scientology was corrupt, sinister, and dangerous. Now, these constituents didn't appear corrupt, sinister, and dangerous to Margaret Thatcher. And indeed, they probably were not corrupt, sinister, and dangerous. Because let's be honest, not every Scientologist is corrupt, sinister, and dangerous because they believe, as does John Travolta, that Scientology is about a world without criminals, insanity, and war. That's what they're aiming for. So everything aligns with that. Everything they do, everything they say, think, believe, is all about doing that. And that's why John Travolta can say that Scientology is this wonderful thing. And I've no doubt that these two constituents persuaded Mrs. Thatcher that the work in the drug rehabilitation field and rehabilitating criminals and uniting cultures, bringing peace and stopping at the scene of accidents and all that kind of stuff. I'm pretty sure that Mrs. Thatcher thought, oh God, these guys are getting a rough deal. Fine, except for one thing. The judge was right. Scientology is corrupt, sinister, and dangerous. And most of the members have no idea because they're being lied to. It is that simple. They're being lied to. Scientology is organized fraud. You can find out now or later, but it's organized fraud, period. So what's the result of this ban being lifted? It means that foreign Scientologists now come to the UK. It means that in the Office of Special Affairs, which is also known as the Scientology CIA or the Dirty Tricks, you've got foreigners working there. Janet Laveau would be one, and Massimo Angius would be another. Nothing wrong with that. That's okay. It's an EU and it's a free country, even though I think Janet's Canadian. But anyway, Canada used to belong to, England and UK at one time as part of the empire. But, no one's above the law, as has been said before. And here's the thing. If someone does something bad in Scientology, if a Scientologist does something bad, and when I say bad, I mean a crime. Let's just say, for example, child sex abuse. What happens is that everyone acknowledges it's a pretty terrible thing. But worse would be if people found out that a Scientologist was involved in that because it would reflect on Scientology. That becomes a bigger issue than the fact that there's a victim and an abuser. That's a crime in itself. What happens next is that Scientology, and the Office of Special Affairs is involved in this, covers up the offence that's been committed. That in itself is an offence, as I said. They do it to protect Scientology and also to stop Scientologists from knowing what's really going on. Oh, well, we don't want anyone to know we've got a Scientologist running an organisation in the north of England who sexually abuses his own daughter, do we? That sends out the wrong message. The entire organisation sends out the wrong message when you start peeling away the layers of the onion and looking at what's inside. So, Mrs. Thatcher, you've opened the door to further abuses from this organization. Despite the words of the judge and the department, you went ahead and lifted the ban, and as a result of that, now there are victims of child sex abuse without a voice who have never had redress, and it's continuing to go on. I doubt the files even exist because these people shred files. They have what's called a red box, and if there's ever a raid, everything in the red box disappears instantly, and the red box is evidence of crimes. Here's another thing, just a little tiny thing that's nothing to do with any of this, but I know someone who used to drive packages between locations in the United Kingdom for Scientology because they didn't trust the post unless they were being spied on. Really? What kind of a church is this? What kind of materials could you not want to have spied on? Not that anyone was going to spy on them, but what kind of mindset would you have to think, oh my God, if anyone read this who wasn't one of us, we're screwed. Scientology is corrupt, sinister, and dangerous, and I'm going to say no more. The day is coming, and by God, we will have our justice.